Lost Mines of Phandelver in the GURPS system. We're back in action here. The party just faced down the goblin ambush, and we took some heavy hits here. So the party, I think, is going to... I think maybe they're going to have to rest for a while. So they're going to pull the donkey or the ox here off. They're going to hide up in the bushes here and kind of make camp. And rest for a bit. Now, if we look at our damage we took, our fighter took 8 damage. But we've got our cleric Cedric on the scene, so he can do some healing. He first has to make an IQ check, so he's got a 12 in that. That's pretty easily done. There's an 11, he's barely done. At which point he can spend fatigue points by force of will to channel healing energy to the dwarf. So he'll do that for 4 hit points. So that, for 8 hit points. So that costs him 4. So he's down to 6 fatigue points left. That'll put Flint Rockseeker up to full, 13 hit points. We need our tank up to full for sure. And Leaf, the Elven Thief, also got pretty badly hurt. He's down to 3 from 9, so he could use 6. So I'll do that as well. Attempt another IQ roll. Yep, all good. Put him back up to full. So that'll be another 3. That puts me down to 3 fatigue points. So that's bad news. He's now down to half move, but we're going to spend the night. Cedric, the healer, the cleric, is also injured quite badly. He's injured for 7. He's injured for 7 damage, but he can't heal himself, so they'll spend the night. That will recover all... Yeah, you can recover 1 fatigue point for every 10 minutes resting. So they spend all night. Let's say they spend 24 hours. 24 hours resting. They'll take up their quest 24 hours later. That will allow 1 point of healing with a successful health check. Let's try her. No! That's a failed health check. So he does not heal anything. Oh, that's rough. He's got his fatigue back to full. But our human cleric must continue on with a major wound. What is he at? No, he's not quite at half move now. He shook off so he recovered the fatigue penalty, so he's just really injured. Everybody else is at full fatigue. Seaver, Guild Shadow, he spent some fatigue points casting spells, but he's okay now. And yeah, with that, I think they're going to have to continue on. They can't spend another day because they found the dead horse, dead horses and looted saddlebags of their patron there who hired them, Gundren and Sildar. Doesn't look good, so they're going to try and leave the cart, stash it, try and hide it over here. There's lots of grass for the oxen to eat. And these clowns are gonna search around to see if they can find where the goblin went to. See if they can find that goblin trail. So at this point, I've got some stats here I've converted into GURPS. Nothing major. Just take it basically straight as is, eyeballing it. We could use a tracking skill, +2. Nobody here has tracking. Let me just see. No. Nobody has tracking. So we can do an IQ roll -5, but we do get a +2 because it's a fairly easy to spot trail. So I'll take my smartest guy, Seaver, and he'll just kind of snoop around a bit while everybody's looking. See if he can find the trail, find the tracks of the goblins. And that will be a -3. So he needs an 11 or less. Yeah, and he does it too. So he's a fairly perceptive lad. He that'd be yeah, that's fine. They find the goblin trail and they start heading up it. Now, they're going to keep the injured cleric in the middle of the group. Here's the marching order here. We'll go cleric, probably thief, fighter, thief, cleric, magic user at the back. He can take a couple hits, hopefully, before the cleric gets hit. And they trudge up the trail, following the trail, noticing with that roll, that's actually a decent roll, that it looks like indeed two human-sized creatures were drugged along this trail. So that's our Gundren and Sil whatever his name is. They happen upon a snare. Now, it's a perception roll, straight up perception roll to find this by the leader. With our leader trudging along with his helmet on there, he's a dwarf. He's got perception of 10. Now he does have detect traps. Now that's typically only in stonework and dungeons, so that's not going to apply here. So he needs to roll a 10 or less, 50% chance, and he makes it. He rolls an 8, so he sees the snare trap before it's too late, and they go around that. They continue on. Now he knows that something's up. Now he's going to keep his eyes open. Maybe he'll bring the... who's got the best perception here? I think it would be the thief. The thief will now start leading the pack, because now they're more wary of traps. There's been less goblin activity. So away they go. They come to another trap. It is a pit trap, a 10-foot fall pit trap, according to the adventure module. Perception -2 to see this. So he's got a perception of 12. This one's better hidden. Perception 12, so that gives him a 50-50 chance. He needs a 10 or less. Here it goes. Oh, and he rolls an 11. And the thief finds himself stumbling into the trap. Now, the trap does give a saving throw to avoid in D&D, so in GURPS we are going to do the same. He's going to have a dodge. He gets a dodge attempt to save himself from falling the 10 feet. He needs an 8 or less, and amazingly, he is able to kind of jump, dodge off to the side and catch his balance enough before he falls in. So that worked out well. No damage taken there. And with that, they have completed the trail portion of their adventure here, and they find themselves approaching Cragmaw Hideout Cave. And our party comes along a stream they find, and kind of approach this kind of scenario here. You see a bit of a fairly fast running shallow brook here, and they see that the trail more or less comes right up and into the river and crosses the river, and then continues and disappears on into the cave. Okay, so at this point we've got some goblins hiding just around the corner here, supposedly on lookout, but according to the module, not paying attention. Now we come in with the thief leading, and I think the party kind of halts and kind of maybe huddles up here a bit, with the cleric sort of in the back there, and the thief will investigate. So he's going to try and make a stealth roll first of all. Stealth check. He needs a 13, and he makes that with an 11. So he is stealthy. He how much you make that by? Made it by 2. The goblin's perception is, where's my goblin stats here? Not overly perceptive. 9. Yeah, they fail. So they, even if they were actively looking, they would not see the stealthy thief. So he comes up, and he's just gonna sneak up and peer in. He'll see not much, because this is all dark. A little bit of light maybe coming from here. and maybe a little bit from here, but nothing much that he can make out. There's that glare again. I'll just kind of cover it up with my... And at that point, once he gets here, he sees these two goblins talking, sitting, roasting a rat on a stick around a campfire. So at that point, he will report back what he sees, and we can avoid another any kind of ambush. So he's gonna continue up, maybe right up to here, since he's got that stealth check. And I think perhaps these guys, I don't even think they're gonna try to stealth because they have no skill in it. And, oh, actually, let me just double check that. Yeah, the mage has stealth, but it's only at 9. So, okay, I think the mage though at this point is going to get a little creative. He's going to cast Fly. Let's just pull the stats up for that. He's going to cast Fly on the fighter, on the dwarf. Let's see what that entails. Because I'm thinking he's going to silently float over the bushes and get the drop on these guys at the same time as the thief attacks. And maybe we can dispatch these goblins a little quicker than the last set of goblins. So time to cast is 2 seconds. That's no problem. We've got 2 seconds. And it will cost 5 to cast and 3 mana to maintain. Okay, no problem. Seaver will cast Flight. Sorry. Yes, he nails that. He does have to overcome the dwarf's... forgot about this before, but he makes it by so much out on his casting so far. It's been okay. He does have to overcome the dwarf innate ability of magic resistance of 3. So yeah, he has a minus 3 to his skill on that. That's pretty heinous. Dwarves, hard to affect with magic naturally. Okay, so 2 seconds later, after waving his hands a bit, the fighter is able to take flight. It says fly through the air under your own control without wings at a move of 10. That's pretty fast too. Fly speed is reduced normally by encumbrance, so he's down to 9 9 speed now. Flying character can move and fly and fight normally and has combat advantage if above his foes. So yeah, he's just gonna silently just fly and hover over, basically getting ready to get the drop. And this guy with his stealth roll, I'll make him maybe have another stealth roll as he gets in close. That's an 11. He makes that by 2. Perception. The goblins do catch him coming around the corner, at which time they whirl, but they don't have their weapons out. They are not surprised, but they cannot counterattack this turn. It will be their penalty. So they're caught off guard a bit, but they're not fully surprised. So at that point, these guys take a step, and each will be able to close and attack. I'll say that it is a move and attack, because he would have had to get more than a step away with that perception check. That was a good perception check on the goblin's part. So here comes the attack from the thief. He needs a 13, a 12 to hit. Nope, he needs a 9 because he moved an attack. 9 or less, he misses. In comes the flying dwarf. He needs a 9 or less to hit as well. Fail. So they both drop in ineffectively hitting. The goblins reach for their swords, and that's all they got this turn. Initiative. The good guys go way first. Okay, here comes the axe of the dwarf. He's going to actually hover up and take a +1 to hit due to elevation bonus. 3 feet or more, I believe it is, if you're 1 yard up. So he'll hover at that height. He can do so for free, and that'll counteract that -1 he gets for hitting a small goblin target. So this here we go. He needs a 12. He rolls a 13. How terrible. Okay, that's another whiff. Swing and a whiff. The thief will just try and go for the torso again with... Oh, yes. There is a nice hit. And that is a critical hit. No defense possible. And we'll roll on the, no defense possible on the critical hit, and we'll roll on the critical hit random table for something interesting. Normal damage only. Okay, well, no defense. That's pretty good. And here comes the damage die. Just a swing. That is -1, so 4 damage to the goblin. We've got 2 more goblins. 4 damage. He's got a DR of 2, so he only takes 2 damage. And the other one is at full health. So, oops, yeah. We got number 2. We got number 1. Okay, and then the injured goblin will. He will fight. He'll swing. He's got a -2 though to his skill. Yeah, he will miss with that. He needed a 10. He needed an 11 to hit, and he rolls a 14. And the uninjured one will turn and fight the dwarf, taking a shot to the torso and whiffing horribly. Okay, no initiative then. The good guys go again. Okay, the thief will, he's going to try and stab. No, he's going to swing for the throat. He's going to try an all-out attack, swing. Yeah, we got to dispatch these guys quick. He's going to all-out attack determined, so he's forfeiting his dodge. Boy, this is always risky at such a low level. Okay, and he's going for the throat. Yeah, it's a -1 to hit. -2 because he's a goblin. I need an 11. 11 or less. Oh, and he does it. Okay, it's a good hit to the throat. The goblin will try to dodge. He fails. Oh, yes. Okay. Gee. Oh, yeah. Okay, there's 4 damage cutting to the unarmored throat. That's plus 50% cutting damage, so that's another 6. And that will pretty much behead that goblin. The dwarf now, bolstered by his success of his companion there, he'll do the same thing. Swings a mighty arc with his axe, brandishing his shield. No, he's gonna all-out attack as well, determined for the +4 to hit. He is not suffering the -1 size modifier because the goblin is below him. He's got a bit of an elevation bonus, so that's going to cancel out his size. That's an interesting thought, but anyways, rules-wise, that is how it works. And he will need a -1. He'll need an 11 as well. Okay, 11 or less. Ah, and he does it with an 11, right on. Okay. The goblin will attempt to parry. His parry is slightly better. 9. He needs a 9 or less. Oh, and he fails. Ooh, that's a heinous amount of damage from that axe. That's 2d6 +1. Ooh, that's 9 +1 to the throat, unarmored. So then we add another 4 damage because it is cutting damage. So that's 13. Off goes his head, and it rolls across the clearing. Dispatched in, what was that, 2 seconds of combat. These guys triumphantly come back over here, and perhaps at this point they'll just come back and rejoin the party. Now, our cleric is still really hurting. This is where we need to seriously consider resting again. Another full day. Can they give up the lost time? Because they do have their patrons captured there somewhere, probably in this cave. I think they're gonna have to press on. Yeah, they're gonna press on with an injured cleric. Oh boy. No, I don't think we can do it. Let's play it a little bit safer. Okay, the party kind of goes off and hides a good ways away from here. And I think they're gonna just make camp and spend another 24 hours resting for that cleric. Now, this is where I am playing rules as written, the realistic rules for GURPS. There are cinematic alternatives where it's a lot less punitive for recovery. I think I should probably be doing that in the vein of simulating Dungeons and Dragons. Oh, there we go. Doesn't matter anyways, I made the roll, but to simulate cinematic D&D style play, I think we want to maybe forego the health roll at least, and if you spend 24 hours resting, you automatically get your recovery. So let's go ahead with that. It's still, I think, a little more hardcore than D&D 5e plays it, but yeah, let's do that. So he restores total now because of his previous rest, if we allow him to restore the 2 from a decent enough meal. He restores down from 4, he restores another 4, so he's up to 8 out of 11. 8 hit points from 11, not bad. That's gonna have to be good enough. Continue on. I think we can live with that. So the next day they emerge from the woods. Let's just roll a d6, see if any random encounters show up or anything like that. No, they don't see or hear any action or anything like that. They come up, and they can kind of keep an eye, have a scout, the thief watching to see if the guards are replenished, but they're restocked. And we'll say these lazy goblins haven't bothered. And soon, I would suspect there would be another set of goblin sentries sent out for new shift. Okay, and this is it. Now we start. We cross the path, and we head into Cragmaw Hideout.